What is going on, travelers, and welcome back to the No Man's Sky walkthrough. So last time we left off, we went ahead and repaired the ship. Now we're going to go ahead and prepare for flight. So since we're still in the tutorial phase of this, you're going to go ahead and take off with W if you're playing on mouse and keyboard. You're going to notice it's on auto takeoff. You don't have to worry about the landing gear coming up or anything. And you can fly forward. So that little awakens icon there, you can press H on your keyboard and it'll scroll through all the objectives that you have to go through. But initially, this is our beginner takeoff. We're now going to go ahead and boost into space. If you're on mouse and keyboard, that is with shift. And here comes a little cutscene, letting us know which galaxy we're in, what system we're in, and who was discovered by. Usually you can find systems that no one else has found. You can have your name in there as long as you discover all the planets, and the system will be under your name. Okay, now that we're out of the planet, we have a pretty good orbit. We can do a thing that's called pulse drive. So you're gonna pulse over to your next destination, which usually be in this situation, there it is, I see it on screen. The space station. So the space station is that little yellow, I believe it's a prism, that kind of shape. You can see it on your HUD, on your ship. That's what we're aiming for, but I do not see it in front of me. You can see awakens right there. It says orbital flight achieved, test Starship systems, which we did, 1 out of 3. Test boost with L shift. Okay, that's done. All you have to do is just boost. And now we're about to use our pulse engine. If I'm looking at this right, we should be going in the direction of the station, but I don't see it anywhere. Let's try it. Generally, you would just pick a direction, hold the button that is telling you to put down in order for you to go into pulse jump, and that will come up. Incoming transmission. Source number 4925B. Please identify yourself. Let's see. You can hit any one of these, it doesn't matter. You are not alone. All the broadcast ends as strangely as it began. The final piece of the signal appears to be set of planetary coordinates. You can input our planetary data, and it's going to give us a location.
Navigational data received.
Now we have that. You can follow the mark. Ooh, where's it telling us to go? I guess it's telling us to go all the way back. So you do have a choice here. You can just sit here and ignore it and head to the space station, or you can just immediately go into that quest. The choice is it's totally up to you, but we're going to check out the space station first. So the pulse jump is going to take a little bit of time. You can go ahead and check where your fuel is at with the quick button. You just have that menu come up, and you use that battery to, whoops. But look, in your menu you can see where your pulse drive is at. You can also see what's used for it. There was already tritium in here, so generally I didn't have to worry about that. Now that it's up to full, I can pulse drive 100%. And this is the space station. Let me go ahead and back this up just a little bit more. We're a little too close. I kind of wanted maybe a 30-second delay to get a... Hold on a second. Let me boost out of here. I wanted a better view. This is way too close. There. And this is the space station. These space stations are different than the ones like way back when, but that's not neither here or there. They're all going to be different on the outside. On the inside, it depends. You don't have to worry about crashing in or anything, or trying to do the piloting yourself. It just kind of pulls you in like a tractor beam and auto lands. And you just hop out. Once you hop out into a space station, this will be one of your places where you can buy ships, buy parts, take missions, and join a guild. You'll notice which place you're in because it has these kind of symbols on it. This one is Gek. We have this one over here for location. Let me see. I believe this is where you go ahead and get your maps, your planetary maps. Oh no, it's oh, it is. It is. Yeah, your planetary charts if you ever need it, as well as a portal. If you have a portal connected to your base, this will actually be lit up, and you can transfer there or to any other space station that you have visited. Did I mention you can buy ships here? If you have the right price, you can go ahead and buy the ships from the pilots by walking straight up to them and just making an offer on the starship, on the Lifeform's starship. We'll get more in the starships later on. Down here you have where your missions are going to be. Not the main quest we're on, not Awakens. No, these are side quests initially. So when you do these mission quests, you get a thing called standing. Standing is what your rank is among the specific factions. You see, the life form gestures apologetically. Their exact meaning is unclear, but apparently there is no word for me here. So unfortunately, we can't get any missions yet until we get a little bit more... What am I trying to say? Until you get a little bit more standing. So this will make a better picture of what I'm trying to say. It's the... There we go. So here's your standing right here. So it looks like our next rank is N2. We have a total of 1 for standing. So it's not looking good for us. They're not going to give us anything because they don't know us. So once we start making a name for ourselves and get this thing called standing from Gex, then Gex places will more than likely lend us missions. And if we do a lot more stuff from them, let's see, let's go to this exosuit upgrade kiosk. You can come here to upgrade your exosuit, actually. Why we came over here is because I wanted to show you not just how to get into it, but as soon as we start getting standing, we start getting discounts. This is actually new to the game in Orbital. We've never had discounts for any of the upgrades. So build up your standing, getting the missions, or by learning the words from other Gex and maybe some Vikings and Korvax if you wanted to have a nice rounded gameplay. But yeah, that's how you get your discounts. This is also where you can go ahead and buy your multi-tool. Your multi-tool is this thing right here. Also, again, very low slots. You would go to a kiosk in order to upgrade it, which would be... What? Won't be here either. Huh, that's actually pretty weird. Where is it? Usually it's right next to the kiosk, but it's not. Over here we got stuff for our ship. Our ship upgrades. And we'll talk about, like I said, ships later, because I want to talk more about the new feature of building your own ship if you have the parts and the right reactor. And then behind me is your exocraft. We'll talk about that later on too. It's going to be your land vehicles. And then we have the Mercenaries Guild. This is just one of the 3 guilds that's out there, in which you would go ahead and join, get standing with them, and they would give you free stuff when you donate, or when you... This is the stuff you would redeem when you would donate things like salvage glass, pirate transponder, quad servo, anything that's listed on here. You would give it to them. Once you have given that to them, they would give you a lot of these, not to mention standing within their guild. But let's see, this is where you can modify yourself. If you have things on you, you can choose to be an anomaly, Gek, Viking, Traveler, Korvax. This is Autophage. This is another class that isn't open yet because there's specific missions you need to go through in order to unlock that. You can go ahead and change your body shape if you want. Short, tall, big. Or you change your helmet and the way it looks. There's a lot more than just the 10, but you'll unlock that later on. You can change the torso as well. The armor, the gloves, the legs, the boots, the backpack, and the banner if you wanted to. This is just a few examples. You can change the color. Very customizable. Let's save that. But this is kind of odd. I don't see the kiosk for your multi-tool, and I don't see the kiosk for your... Oh, that's kind of weird to begin with. But that is a space... Oh, that's a nice heavy fighter. That is a space station for you. Let's go ahead and get into Awakenings and get on with the walkthrough. So once you get out of space, out of pulse jump, and then start coming into the planet just a little bit, you will kind of slow down once you get closer and closer to the ground. And it'll give you an approximate location. It won't actually give you the location, unfortunately. So in times you can fly around and just kind of guess where the next destination is, or you can just go ahead and land on the first flat spot you see. We'll go ahead and land here. And you'll have to search. Now you can search by using your target sweep. This comes up automatically when you're in instances like this where it gives you an approximate location, and it'll give you the distance. So we're about 310 U's away from our destination. We can deploy a marker with E if we need. Ooh. Watch out for the hazardous flora. Oxygen for us. These are language stones. These stones will help you get through the faction's language. So this one is Gek, since we're in a Gek system. It's going to teach us a Gek word. Ooh, without meeting my gaze, they offer up their hand. Okay, we accept the knowledge, but man. Alright, we got our first Gek word. Gek word for Gek. So if you do decide to get lost, I'm sorry. If you do decide that you're lost, then the target sweep will keep you along. Why did it tell us to go left? That's weird. Let's see. If you are out of sodium, pick stuff up. You're at the part of the game where stuff is very easy to get to, and you don't want to miss out on making batteries, making sure your life support is there. If you're watching the first episode of the walkthrough, you would already have your life support gel, as well as your... you should have batteries too. I guess that was in the second episode. Either way, you should have those on you, or at least the material, so that way you can keep your hazard protection and your vital signs up. Yep, oh, we're already here. You just wait for it to calibrate, and it says signal source located. It's going to show us where exactly to go. Where that was just a marker. So we're 100. Oh, actually, we're 76. We're getting pretty close. And here's the signal source. Now, before you do that, you can actually bring your ship over here by calling it. You can call your ship by using the summon vehicle. Your radiant pillar will show up exactly here. If it's in green, that means it's good to land. If it's in red, it is not good to land. Go ahead and put it right there. And it will come down. Really, really nice when you're in a bit of a pinch and you really need to get to your ship and it's way too far when you're exploring. The only thing is, it uses up launch fuel. Well, that's the exosuit. So we're exactly out of launch thruster fuel. So we can't take off now. So the best we can do is try to get Starship launch fuel, which needs metal plating. We already have the hydrogen. That shouldn't be an issue. We just need 50 ferrite dust. In instances like this, always carry ferrite dust on you. If you can't find ferrite dust, start looking around. There should be some minerals that have question marks on them. Oh, no, that's an animal. And that will tell you whether or not that it's ferrite dust. But we'll continue with the story and I'll take care of that later. Sparking wires of the machine generate a signal, tapping out its broadcast into the void. Whoever left this message is long gone. Cipher the signal. Decoding 16, 16, 16. Number 4925C. No fuel in. Failed to reach station. Hazard protection low. No choice but to. Underground. Deployed base computer. As well as the log entry, the signal contains plans for a base computer and terrain manipulator. With any luck, the base computer will hold more information about whoever is leaving these messages. Alright, so we extracted the plans, and this is a blueprint for our base computer. but we need 30 chromatic metal in order to make it. This is a little precursor to our base. And now we have a terrain manipulator, which means we can start actually mining the ground and its terrain and manipulating it right in front of us. So once we put it in, we can also put these into the bolt caster I'll talk about later. But we need carbon nanotubes, we need the terrain manipulator. Oh, I was reading the top. We need the hydrogen jelly and carbon nanotubes. That's now 3 things we need for our list. Hydrogen jelly shouldn't be a problem. Carbon nanotube is a bit of a problem. Luckily, there's a tree nearby. Go ahead and mine the tree if you need to. Ooh. Try not to use your jetpack a lot. Ooh, some ferrite dust. First thing on the list. Now, the cool thing is about this damaged machinery is that sometimes it gives you special things. Like, it gives you upgrades sometimes, or maybe some things you need. Maybe some ammo for your multi-tool. And Starship launch fuel! How lucky is that? So yeah, definitely check these. Okay, so we need a carbon nanotube. And we need... I think that's it. Okay, now that we're back at the ship, we can go ahead and... Oh, I need 2 carbon nanotubes. So if you want to make... If you want to make an extra of an item, just hover over it. And then where it says craft more, just hold that button and it'll craft another one of it for you. You don't have to go through the whole process of going to the blueprint and then clicking on it. Now we have our terrain manipulator. And we're going to go ahead and look for... Does it have carbon here? You can tell it has copper if you look to the right of the screen on your HUD. It says available resources, where it tells us that there's frost crystal here, there's copper, dioxide, and sodium. We're going to go ahead and look for copper by looking for little icons like that. There's a lot near us. Oh, there's a copper deposit not too far away. So, in instances like this, where hazard protection, it's kind of running low, but you don't want to use up your sodium because you want to use it for batteries, or you want to use it for something else and you don't have too much, just hop back in your ship, and there happens to be a cave nearby. You can just hop into the cave. It'll do the exact same thing. Don't forget to put in that launch thruster fuel. And that's how you recharge your launch fuel. You do the same thing with your pulse engine. You don't have to really worry about... Oh, you have to do that to your shield too. I'm sorry. Actually, that's just a move technology. When it starts going down, it will come back up after combat. But that's a much later time. We're going to discuss that. Let's go get that copper. Alright, now we made it towards the copper. Here's how you change the settings on your multi-tool. So you'll hit where it says Equip Terrain Manipulator. You'll hit that button. And you'll see something on the upper right corner where it says Mining Beam, switch with G. It'll switch over to your Terrain Manipulator. Your Terrain Manipulator also has ways to mine what's in front of you. So you can switch it. If you're using mouse and keyboard, you can use switch with Alt, which is the middle mouse button. And it will use a create feature where it will create terrain. Just like that. You can also flatten it, if you so please. If you just switch with it, you can also restore. Make it look like it never happened. But when you have things like copper or sodium or dioxide in front of you, you want to use the terrain manipulator for mining in order for you to start collecting the resource. I guess we got all of it. Just want to get out of the cold for a minute. Remember where... Whoops. Remember where your mining tool is at. So you don't have to take it out of your inventory or put it anywhere. All you have to do is go to your build button, which on mouse and keyboard is Z. All you have to do is click it and put it down. That's it. It's always reliable. And always remember the trick. Go ahead and put carbon in. Don't put condensed carbon in, because then you'll just get carbon back. And then put the amount you need in. We did get 854 copper from it. But all we're going to need is 30. Or 60. I'm sorry, 60. So we don't have to necessarily waste all of it, just in case we need the copper for something else. So I can't imagine for what. Bring it all the way down to 60. let that sit for about 20 seconds. Now this area would be good for a base. It's nice and flat, you know, except for the broken object here in the middle, but that's alright. We can work around that. If you decide you want to go somewhere else with your base, you can. You're not glued to this system. You can hop into another system, be perfectly okay setting up a base there. But more than likely you can go ahead and scan the other planets to see whether or not it's maybe an Earth-like planet that you're more interested in, where you can breathe the atmosphere, you're not freezing to death. So go ahead and pick the item up and then select your exosuit now that it's in there. You'll notice that there's a ratio every time you put an item in. Hold on a sec. If I were to put tritium in, you can say it's a 5-to-1 ratio to make dihydrogen out of it. So it takes about 5 tritium to make 1 dihydrogen, which is not good. It's not good. Alright, we got our carbon back. Let me put that tritium in the starship menu. So there's ways you can go about this. You put your tritium back in like this. Or you can select quick transfer. That menu will come up and show you spots where you can transfer the item at, and you'll never have to leave the screen. Just quick little shortcuts if you don't want to have things in there that's taking up space, since we're limited on space already. Okay, the ship is fueled. If you want to make your base here, go ahead. If not, I want to go ahead and try to find something a little bit Earth-like. Now, in order for us to jump to the next system, we need a thing called a hyperdrive, and I don't believe we have that. That's coming up in another mission, although it's asking us to put a computer down. See what's in your system first in order for you to get a better idea of where you're at, because you might find something a little bit better. You're like, oh man, I already spent this amount of copper on this base computer, but the thing is, you can go ahead and pick them back up. If you decide you don't want to be there, you can move it to another location. Now that's off in the distance. It's looking a little Earth-like. Once it says unknown planet, go ahead and push C on mouse and keyboard. Or whatever you're... Oh, it's torrid, which means it's super hot. So we don't want to go there. Or at least I don't. This one, on the other hand, I believe it might be cold. And this scan might take a couple of times because of the distance and how the ship's pointed at it. But once we see the description of unknown planet come up, we find the scan. Oh, there it goes. Hey, a breached planet. Copper, gold, and salt. Huh. We have a choice between a breached planet, a torrid planet, which is super hot, or we can go to a misty planet. This one, I believe, is a little... It's not toxic, it's radiation, but you can pick and choose which one you want to go to. Also, this one there that we haven't looked at yet. And it's a paradise planet. You might get lucky sometimes and find one of these. These planets are awesome. These are definitely Earth-like. They may not be your green land and blue sky, but it's just the same. Yeah, just in different colors. Now you will notice in some systems and some planets, it might be something you're looking for, but sometimes you might get things like this where there's tall, tall mountains. We're just going to touch down over here. You can slow the ship down by going to reverse, coming to maybe 20 units per second, and that'll give you enough, not enough time to land, but it'll give you enough speed for you to land. If you go any faster than that, the ship won't recognize it and it'll tell you you're going too fast. It won't let you land. But, yeah, lo and behold, smallest planet to the record. Nice. Do get new discoveries and trophies for that and whatnot. By trophies, I mean you'll go ahead and go to your wonders in catalog and guide. Go over to wonders, planet records, and it'll give you the coldest temperature planet, the most toxic atmosphere, the highest peak. Wow, that had all 3 on it, all 4 on it, the largest planet, and we found the smallest one and the most perfect. No way. That's awesome. But yeah, this is our smallest planet. Not to mention it is paradise. Weather is refreshing breeze. I don't think we're going to be expecting anything too badly. So we do have threatening sentinels here, which means we're going to see these... Oh, no, look at that over there. We're going to be seeing these little red robots floating around. And if we do something that they don't like, they will attack us, which means we're going to be equipping the Boltcaster. So this thing here, it needs about 100 chromatic metal and 3 carbon nanotubes, which shouldn't be a problem. Let's go ahead and press on where we're going to have our base. Now, a lot of the land we see will not be flat. It'll be a little hilly. It'll be a bit of a problem, but you want to stack things on top of the terrain, not directly on it so it's flat. The persistence for manipulating terrain has been pretty good so far, but I always recommend you build on top. Let's see, this looks like a good spot over here. I like this kind of spot. Very open. We got a lot of resources in front of us to go ahead and build. Alright, let's go ahead and put our base computer down here. Go to your build menu. Put the computer down. And I wouldn't put it in the middle. I'd probably put it a little bit over it because we're going to build right in the middle and expand out. And all I do is put down your base computer. It begins to open up. Using Cartographic Archives. Universal Archive search reveals no prior claims on this site. Sonar tests confirms site is suitable for construction. Claim site. Yes, let's claim the base. So your base has a radius of 300 units. Which probably doesn't mean anything to you because the measurement is in units. It's kind of large. Walking distance wise. You'll know once you hit the line if you had something to build. Oh, we don't have anything to build on it yet because we don't have the construction computer. But once you know you can't build here, that's when you've hit the limit of how far you can go in terms of building. There's ways and glitches to kind of expand that space. That's for a later time as well. So go ahead and go to the base computer. It is now online. Entry number 4925D follows. Storm swoops across, but construction supplies low. Pausing shelter plans while need to back soon. So we're going to extract the plans, and it's giving us timber angled doors, timber wood stuff, and flora containment number 3. And it gives you a little guidance alert and kind of shows you, okay, this is what bases do in terms of hazard protection, construct bases as a shelter, construction blueprints, turning your base to store and process items as you explore, because your inventory gets pretty full. So what you can do now in terms of building, let's go back to your build menu and it'll start showing you things you can build in order to make your shelter. So these take up carbon. Make sure you have enough carbon within your exosuit in order for you to build. Looks like we have about 38 copper, so that's about, what, 3 floors? We can go ahead and scan the trees. Oh, I guess that's for all the trees then. I was expecting the trees to be different, but yeah, go ahead and take out the carbon and condensed carbon. If it's labeled with condensed carbon, whatever secondary it comes with. Okay, so we have about 58. Kind of have in your head what you want to build, like maybe you want a 2x4. Where it's just enough for you to have things in, but it's still... Let's see, go to timber wood floor panel. And this is what I meant by building above the ground. If that doesn't happen, there's... Ooh, I don't even think it's there yet. No, it's not there yet. Usually there would be a little frame for you to build with this, but because we don't have that out yet, and that's in the construction computer, we're gonna have to wait on that. But we'll work with what we have at the moment, just to kind of make a little flat terrain. This will flatten it just a little bit for us. So, let's see, is it gonna...
Incoming storm.
There is a storm coming in. I'm not too worried about it, as we're gonna have to get it. I got 2 more. It even tells you how much you can build. Actually, let me take that down. So if you didn't want to build something somewhere, you press C and you click, and you can take it back and put it in a different spot. If you do want to delete it, you'll just go back to... Sorry, let me go back here. Actually, no, here. Okay. Press C again, and then press X in order to delete it. And then it takes the thing from you. Alright, and we have our room. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else to kind of make the room a bit brighter. It's very dim in here and very dark. There's a flora contain. I don't know if this will lighten up the room any, but try to put it close to the corner here. It kind of does. It gets a little green hue, but I don't think that's going to be enough. That's the Cape standing light. Will that work in here? But we need electricity for it, though. You can see the little plug on the side. Let me turn it around a little bit. That has to connect to an electrical source that we don't have yet. So in the meantime, this is our shelter. And we'll go a little bit more in depth into the next thing we need to do in terms of the quest line. And we'll get a little bit more into the ship in the next episode. This is Azarath. Go beyond, traveler.